getting set up right now. So just to let you guys know how this is going to work out, we asked for, if I can have everybody's attention. There we go. I can't do 3 fingers like that for some reason. My years of typing. All right. So here's how we're going to work this one. While these guys are getting set up, I'm going to go ahead and explain this. We got all of your suggestions, so thank you very much for submitting those. And what we're going to do, hold on, is we've narrowed it down to the choices that we think are the most realistic and feasible. Okay. So I understand.
Try harder!
Yes, the I win button is not an actual thing. So we've narrowed it down, and we'll actually show you the criteria by which we narrowed it down under the ground rules. And I'm going to call the folks up here. Hopefully we have enough time for everybody to give your elevator pitch. It's a very technical term. To give your, whoa, what's going on?
It's the moonlighting power set!
So how much time?
So you're going to come to the mic and you're going to give your elevator pitch, which means you've got to be able to speak very clearly and concisely. And you've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and I'm going to time you. And once 2 minutes is up, you're done, okay? It's a very fast, it's actually a very long elevator. So 2 minutes to give your pitch. So after we've gone through the pitches, the designers are going to put their heads together and they're going to decide which one had the best pitch, okay? And then they're going to pick the top 3. The top 3 will then be chosen and voted upon by you guys and by the folks at Ustream and in the Ustream channel, and they can do it by, you know, showing their support via, you know, squirrels. 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 Oh, okay. I think that the squirrel emoticon is just colon squirrel colon. Is that right? Somebody in the chat should tell me should try it. Okay. Actually, it's fine. You can use smiley faces. So if you wanna, if you're in Ustream right now, I don't have the chat window up. I should probably
design a power set. I hope every one of you brought 750,000 points.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna. Are you guys ready? All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started then. I gotta open up my chat window for Ustream so I can.
I just want to throw something out there. There's some really fantastic ideas, a lot of which we had not thought of yet. So that's pretty exciting.
So even if we don't get to it today.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a good possibility that it may happen later. So we had to limit it down to a few because we have not a lot of time. I wish we could do 3 hours of this, but you guys probably have numb butts and there's other stuff. So
you guys get tired of looking at spreadsheets, just like we did.
Yeah, there's that.
All right, guys.
There will be spreadsheets.
So we are going to keep all the suggestions. So all of the suggestions will be kept and cataloged. We still have them over there in the stack. So we will have that endless pile of things to go through. So here we go. Okay, they figured out the squirrels. So we're going to do it by squirrels on Ustream. If you're watching on Ustream, squirrels. All right. So here we go, guys. Here we go. We're going to kick it off with actually the Kingmaker, Polyanimatronic. You get to come up. You have 2 minutes from when I say go. And Polyanimatronic's power set that she would like to propose is air control go.
Basically, the idea behind air control is to give us something to do in the game that involves air that doesn't make my teammates hate me the way Gale does. Summoning as a power set can be really fantastic if you're by yourself, in which case you're going to die and then be in the hospital and spend all your time in transit. Air control would give you the ability to control the air. That may result in things like holds, which are suffocations, where you're going to take the air away from someone. It may look like a whirlwind holding a person in place for either a single or a group cage. What else did I say it might look like? Basically, the idea is that you would have all of the control powers that you might see with other elemental sets that we have. At this point, we have water coming. We already have earth. We have fire. But where's air? Where is it? Huh? We breathe that stuff. and yet, when I face a foe, can I take it away from them? No. And when I think about my life and how air has impacted me personally,
2 minutes might be too long.
Please cut me off.
Okay, you don't have to take the full 2 minutes. In fact, official ruling, it's now 90 seconds. Hey, give it up for the kingmaker. All right, so we're officially cutting it to 90 seconds because you know what? She was so good. You're going to have to beat that, guys. All right, here we go. Next up, Wrangle. All right, Wrangle is going to be proposing. Pick one of them, Wrangle. You got 2 on there.
Sure. I'll do it with radiation armor.
Okay, so Wrangle is proposing radiation armor, and your time begins now.
So within all of the resistance sets and all the defensive sets, we've got everything covered. We've got fire covered, we've got energy covered, we've got electric covered, but we don't have radiation covered. Radiation could be a set that would involve a little bit of debuffs that do not include mines to hit, which we've got in dark. It would not include the mines endurance that we've got in energy and electric. So we'd cover a different set of things. It would do some minus regen within it, or a little bit of toxic damage in there. So I think it could cover a different part of the power sets than what we've got right now.
Done? Okay, great. Thank you. 40 seconds. Excellent. Maybe we should just keep sliding the scale down. Because I'm kidding. Remember, when you get up there...
We can make this a whole bidding thing, like, can you get your power set in under 30 seconds?
Okay, so I hope that the devs are taking notes over there.
There's a badge for it.
Yeah.
We don't need to take notes that are on the cards.
So remember, guys, don't be afraid of the microphone, please. Speak, if we want to turn the mic just a little bit more so it's actually facing the devs, speak directly into the mic because we need the folks on Ustream to pick you up as well. Okay, so next up we have Figurehead. All right. Figurehead, give a round of applause, there we go. Figurehead is going to be proposing Psi Armor. And your time, your 90 seconds begins now.
So the basic vision I had for Psi Armor would be that we have strengths against all sorts of other powers. We have nothing which is strong against the whole, against Psi. So it should be something which is really strong against Psi, like Elec Armor, 90% resist, strong. But it focuses on sort of keeping away from people. So it'd be actually weak to smash lethal, unusual thing. This would be a secondary for, the usual melee power sets. Big focus on sort of control and positioning and keeping away from things. If they get up close and in your grill, you're done.
Okay. Outstanding. Thank you very much. 41 seconds. I don't have a name on this anywhere.
I'll pitch it.
Sorry. No name. The name was written down and scratched out, guys, so I'm sorry if there's no name on it. We're going to have to say no. Next up is Scott Artphobia. Artphobia. All right. All right, Scott is coming to the mic. As he makes his way to the mic, his power set that he's going to propose is, he's got 2 names for it, but same thing, Power Arm or Tech Arm. Your 90 seconds begins now.
Actually, I didn't even think to be brought up here for it, but it's more of a blaster type or long range. It would have different abilities built into it, so it becomes almost the inherent blapper set, but your arm kind of cosmetically can be picked, kind of like the swords can be picked for dual weapons and things, changes from a gun to a blade, grenade launcher, stuff like that. So it's fairly simple, but it's just very specific to the arm, and then just that it would change whenever the power set's turned on. Cool.
Okay. We have a new record, folks, 38 seconds. All right, here we go. Coming to the mic next, New Jack Swing. Hey, like we said, guys, this is a workshop, and we're working with you guys and in our eternal gratitude.
Are we getting paid for this weekend?
All right, so New Jack is going to be proposing. This is for Dominator, Blast, and Blaster, weapon assault / weapon manipulation.
Yeah.
Okay, and your 90 seconds begins now.
So basically, we have it already in the game. We have the assault powers. Basically, we can throw a shuriken or any other kind of weapon. And for the scrapper type power to the Dominator, you have either a sword or something similar. And it would be simply easy to port things over to the Dominator and to the Blaster, because we already have everything in game already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. 31 seconds. All right, Brad Simmons, come on up to the mic, sir. There we go. Brad Simmons, give him a round of applause. Something tells me this is going to be a popular one. All right, this is a Blaster primary power pole that Brad's going to propose.
I feel underdressed.
So,
okay, here we go. Brad is going to propose Air Blast, and your 90 seconds begins now.
So Air Blast is basically like what the Blaster said. So it's just to complement the elemental powers that exist, just shooting blasts of air and knocking people over, stuff like that. So I didn't really think it through. Just
It's okay.
it's an air.
It isn't easy, is it?
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you had to name one special mechanic in it, what would it be?
I'm not sure. What can you?
So like, for example, on Street Justice you have combo levels and stuff like that. On Titan Weapons you have momentum. On throw out another special mechanic here. On Beam Rifle you have Disintegrate and stuff like that. You know,
Pull my finger.
Fuel or something like
You
that.
didn't have to tell us what it does, just come up with a name.
Yeah, just like something that sounds cool that would go with Air Blast.
Wait,
How about we go with?
Pull my finger.
What?
Pressure frost.
Buffett.
Buffett.
Buffett?
All right, Buffett.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I'm hungry again.
That's okay. All right, give a round of applause, folks. Okay, so we've got two. I'm actually going to pitch this one and this one that I couldn't find the name on because I'm reading through it and it sounds really effing cool. So I'm not going to let that one slip by. But before we do that, Miss Volpen Fox, please come up to the mic. Right over there. Thank you very much. All right, Volpen Fox, you have 90 seconds to pitch your idea for a Blaster Corruptor Defender, primary / secondary, and it is called Throwing Weapons. Go.
The title of the power set kind of says it all. Using knives or a shuriken all combined into one set, I could have it defined as a weapon that you choose on your own, similar to assault rifle. So if you want to do a boomerang or knives, something like that.
Okay. Right on. Thank you very much. Okay. And this last one, who put in for magnetism control? Come on up here.
No.
What?
I crossed his name out.
I crossed my name out.
It's a really great idea. You sure you don't want to pitch it?
Do it.
Give him some support. Round of applause for us.
Okay, hi. Magnetism control, we don't have it yet. It's pretty well represented on both DC, Marvel, most comics. Multiple effects you could do. You could either do the Cosmic Boy rings for the visual effects or actually use pieces of metal. The immobilized, the holds and everything both can take many forms, and there's plenty of room for a tier 9 or utility power like an EMP or some other kind of blast in there, and it'd be a control dominator set.
Okay. Outstanding, thank you very much. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to hand this off to the developers, and while they're, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was a power set that got brought up so many times, and I really wasn't sure where we're going to go with this with the Wrangle. Radiation melee.
Yes. That was another one. Do you want to give them a chance to pitch that one too?
Unless someone else wants to. It got brought up so many times that if it didn't get in that pile, that I would be kind of cheating.
War Boss? All right. War Boss, you can pitch. Come up here and pitch Radiation. All right, so after this last pitch, what we're going to do is I'm going to hand this off to the developers. They're going to kibosh. They're going to decide which one, and while they're doing that, I'm actually going to go over the criteria, is that slide still in there, that we use to narrow this down, so you guys can see how we actually came about making, choosing this range. All right, so War Boss from Justice.
Yeah, well, all over.
From all over. Tanker Tuesday. Every Friday.
Google Monday that got changed.
Gotcha, okay. All right, guys, so here we go. This is a pitch for Radiation Melee. Your 90 seconds begins now.
It's radiation. Actually, the tanks don't really have a debuffing set, that being part of the
Talking to the microphone. Well, the people on YouTube
okay,
do.
so really, the tanks don't have a debuffing set as far as melee goes. It'd be nice to get something in there where when you actually attack an AV or something, there's a reason for that AV to work. And radiation melee.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to hand this off, and now you can just put the slide. So if you're wondering why your particular proposal didn't get in there, let's go over some of the ground rules that we used to make this decision. So the first one we did, the first one we said was no mastermind power sets. And I know a lot of people are upset by that, and the reason is because the way that our schedule is set out right now, in order for us to fit this in, it has to be no masterminds. Mastermind power sets take exponentially longer and more resources than any other type of power set. So it takes a lot more time to do it. The second one was no whips. I think we've all covered this. I know, I understand, but we've covered this a lot of times. There's a lot of physics and animation issues with whips. No stretching powers, same thing, physics, animations. No growth and shrinking powers, again, physics, animations more so than physics, and how you interact with the environment. No ranged weapon / melee weapon combinations. Synergistically, I think that Phil and the guys have tried to make those work from time to time. It's just synergistically, it doesn't play out how you envision it playing out. So you really don't end up turning into Domino or something like that. It's a little bit more awkward than we want it to be.
And we're picking 3 to sift through, right?
You're picking 3 for them to vote on by show of support. So, no goofy or joke power sets, and yes, this includes clown summoning and carp melee. We also would have accepted hamster launching or bazooka punching.
Before people start complaining about existence of clown summoning in serious comic books, I don't want to get sued by DC.
Okay, so how are we doing over there, developers?
Do we have 3?
Do we have 3 yet?
Can we count to 3 yet?
We're going to give you to Matt. Matt, you're up next.
Okay.
So we're picking through it.
You're picking through it. So how are you guys enjoying the Player Summit yet so far? Yeah? Outstanding. Let's see some of the suggestions that we had from Ustream. I think they're mostly angry at me for saying no clown summoning right now.
Harlequin summoning.
Harlequin. Oh, you. Oh, you. That's so clever. What's that? Well, I understand. I do, but we also have our schedule, and we have to slot these choices in there. So, I understand. I understand objecting to it. Your feedback has been noted. Let's see here. What else is?
It's mostly visual and talks, and you can use most of the powers from like the thugs or something else. It's just they don't have to look like thugs all the time.
Thugs as clowns.
So yeah, we definitely know. Let's not. We really quickly though. We want to make sure this doesn't turn into the power set panel from last year, which ended up being the mastermind panel. So yeah. By the way, just to address the folks on Ustream really quickly, if you are wondering if the slides from the keynote and all that, all the images and everything are going to be published on the website or on the forums, yes, we will have them up. We had a little bit of a, we did them, I think, like a week or a couple days later. We actually did a Ustream presentation of the panel stuff that you missed last year. But we will have all that imagery and everything available for everybody, so you'll be able to see all the stuff that you may have missed. And yes, all of these sessions should be being recorded. So actually, they are being recorded. I double-checked with Hitstreak and made sure we are recording them. So the only downside is that we don't have music files because something happened to the music files. So there's no fancy music in between, it's just quiet.
We
ready?
We're good.
Yeah. Okay, so.
What's the next slide? Do you want to read the next slide?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. What's the next slide? Oh, yeah.
That's where you guys.
We did a little bit of outward, so it's okay. Anyways, all right. So, Phil, do you want to read off the top three?
Yeah. So I first want to preface this saying there were some in there that are really great ideas, and we want to do them. But we had to pick three, and we kind of picked four. So, all
right. So, before we start, here's how we're going to do this then. So Phil is going to read it off, and we're going to who's staying? Hey, Fry Talk, do you want to be the applausometer? Can you go like this? Say yes. Like just wave your hand up in the air as they're clapping, okay? All right, so remember, guys, he's going to read off the name of the power set, and you guys are going to help us out, help us select by cheering, and whichever one gets the loudest cheers, I think would be safe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Whichever one gets the loudest, and usually you can subjectively tell. So, all right, so here we go. And Ustream, you guys put squirrels or smiley faces or something, and we'll know.
Lots of squirrels. Okay, so the first one is Air Blast.
Air Blast. Okay, we actually have a decibel meter. That's awesome. You have an app for that?
I was just getting one.
What hell?
Actually, let me read off all of the possible, all the ones that are here.
Okay. And then we'll do it. Okay, all right.
So we have Air Blast.
Air Blast.
Radiation Armor or Melee, and the Throwing Weapons. Those are our options.
Okay.
So let's get a round of applause for Air Blast.
That only rated 4 squirrels.
4 squirrels.
4 squirrels, yeah.
Next one is Radiation Armor.
That was 10 squirrels.
Okay, how about Radiation Melee? Last one is Throwing Weapons.
It sounds like it's between Radiation Armor and Throwing Weapons.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to...
Radiation Armor was high 80 decibels.
Okay.
And Throwing Weapons was really high.
Was really close to? All right.
Okay, do we want to do a scream off between these two?
I think that's... Not a scream off, but so fine. Between those two, we'll do the same thing again, but really get really loud and rambunctious for the one you want, guys. All right, so here we go. First one we're gonna do, we're gonna reverse the order this time. So first off, if you want Throwing Weapons, let's hear it. Okay, all right. I think some of you want Throwing Weapons. And if you want Radiation Armor, go. The squirrels have it, I think. So,
Here we go.
We ready? Radiation armor?
Switch seats so Phil can manipulate the spreadsheets.
All right, guys. So here we go. We're going to start working on radiation armor with you guys.
All right, so this spreadsheet here is
Exactly like.
So this spreadsheet is, we're just going to use the melee one, that's fine. A lot of these numbers aren't really going to matter because we're not making a damage set, so ignore it. So power set we're doing is radiation melee.
Armor.
That's what I wanted to.
It's the same.
All right, thank you. I think the best thing to do at this point is to interact with you all and find out what you kind of expect to get out of this. Does that sound like a...
Yes, sir.
So hey, if you want to join the conversation about radiation armor, please walk up to the mic and we'll call on you. The designers will call on you for questions. Okay?
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile notes basically first.
So we also have fairly limited time at this point, so keep everything pretty quick so that we can get through all 9 powers. But yeah.
Actually, it's only 2 o'clock, so we have until 2:30. If we can actually end this one at 2:30, that puts us back on schedule.
Okay. So
anyway.
So we're gonna go as far as we can with this, and then
free iPad.
So okay, great. Go ahead.
What about the absorption mechanic from the bioorganic armor? Because radiation and accumulation of power sounds like be a reasonable fit.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, absorb mechanic, got it.
As far as the immobilization defense, please do not make it a click. Make it a toggle.
You can base several of the powers off of armorizing radiation emission, similar to the way the cold domination has a lot of this defending version of ice armor.
Sure.
Mutation as a self-res would be great.
At least one PV-AOE debuff. Toggle.
Choking Cloud is the aggro war.
Okay. Taking notes.
One of the ideas that I had was a sort of a reverse Fury idea. Instead of actually doing more damage, as you took damage, your endurance recovery would improve. So that would be kind of a buff to yourself that would be unsimilar to anything else currently in the game.
So one of the things that I envision when I think of radiation is radiation sickness. So if somebody's trying to attack you, they suddenly get sick and start hurling. And that's a great animation that we have already.
Another attempt to get hurled.
Might be a turn
Did their hair fall out too? Change the bubble.
One of my favorite powers in all of City of Heroes is Fallout, and also playing War Shades would be Stygian Circle. So something that would involve actually defeating enemies using their bodies, corpses, and a mechanic in there that if it's something like a spectral demon that doesn't leave a body, it would still, after a fashion, grant you some form of bonus.
So there's actually no way to hit something that didn't leave a body? Like it's just not there anymore?
Well, when I play a War Shade and I kill something that doesn't leave a corpse, it really is annoying because I can't Stygian Circle, I can't extract your essence.
Completely understood. Yeah.
So we understand it's just, now that we can do
we could maybe do something where, it has one effect if it hits something that's alive, and it has another effect that hits something if it's dead. Sort of like soul absorption.
So in addition to being an awesome debuff set, radiation also has a lot of nice buffs. So some sort of low power accelerated metabolism, so a tanker can actually fill in.
How about like maybe an auto power that increases recharge and recovery, something like that?
Like a PV AOE, yeah, or sure.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
Say it again.
Is anyone going to suggest visuals?
Leo feel?
Besides the puking.
That is why he is here.
Yeah, we do have the effects artist up here, so please suggest visuals too.
Which, by the way, I don't know how many people have actually been introduced to. Leo.
That's the honey badger, and he does care.
Definitely, just like a low pulsing glow for a lot of your defensive power, like your self-toggle powers, was obviously right there.
I was thinking if we build it resist-based rather than defense-based, rather than maxing all your resists, hitting their damage as a debuff, you're, rather than directly affecting your own personal stats. Point blank area effect for debuffing your damage.
That's kind of what I was thinking for the aura, for the taunt aura, maybe a minus damage effect. And it might also have some scaling effect on you as well. Yeah. Okay, I like that. That's good.
Hi, I have comments about the art, which, by the way, the art for Dark Control is amazing. I want to say thank you for that. But you have the whole spectrum. Like, radiation can be generalized into the green cloud, but it could be everything. So you have references to light, to a black body where all kinds of effects occur. So it doesn't have to be just green smashy, green cloudy. It could be something else really cool and quick. Thank you.
I really need you guys to talk into the mic.
Okay, for the Tier 9, you're probably looking at something like a God mode there, as with most of the melee sets. So you would have something that would sit there and probably either floor their to hit or their damage or something like that. And you would have an animation like nuke.
So kind of what I was thinking is kind of combining the concept of both fallout and mutation, and boom, then you get back up. Maybe it's a Tier 8 or 9.
Maybe you can use it if you're alive, and if you're dead.
That is technically possible. They could have a single concept.
You can do the power spin direction.
Yeah, that's possible.
I have two suggestions for how the powers could look. For one, I think someone said something like accelerated metabolism or something. Maybe something along the lines, sort of, like you're having a lot of growths on your body. It's basically healing you, but it's in a really creepy, icky, nasty way. And the other one for like the PB AOE debuff. I mean, if you're going to have a circle around you, you might as well make it be the radiation symbol.
So when you're talking about the glowing pustules and stuff like that, are we talking something like there's a costume change about
the boils? Yeah, something like that, but like ranked up to 11.
So I have a question for you all in general. I'm sorry, and a heal in this set. I imagine you want to heal, right? Okay. So are we imagining a heal based on the number of enemies around you that also debuffs them? That is another opportunity to throw a debuff? Or are we talking so a debuff heal. We all in agreement on more or less? That's how we Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, also thinking about the look at the power, possibly looking at shrink off effect. So blues and pulsing.
Okay. A couple of ideas on the type of power effects and some of the animations to go with it. For your Tier 9 power, how about something like a meltdown? You become an energy, being a pure radioactive energy, you emit toxic radiation to those nearby. Because you're pure energy, you're going to be harder to hit. You may be doing energy or fire type damage along with your, the concept of meltdown and heat. So you're going to be emerging, emitting this to the foes around you. And then of course, once the meltdown is over, you're not going to be in real great shape. So that will be your cooldown period and you're restored on the end. Also, for an energy, perhaps to redo your endurance, you can affect the electron shells of those beings around you, drawing them to a lower energy state and picking up that energy yourself and removing your own energy state from it.
Okay. So a couple of questions I have. So meltdown, I really like the idea. This is more general, but feel free to pitch in. So meltdown think this is the defense set, but if we make a defense set, we're probably going to make the melee set too. So meltdown also might be an interesting mechanical power for that too. So just keep that in mind. So if you see something, if there's something that's thematically appropriate for a melee set that doesn't get incorporated into the design here, it may get thrown up there. Just throwing it out there. The next thing I want to mention is, do we imagine this set to, what are its primary damage mitigation tools? Does it use resistance, defense, regeneration, heal over time? What are you guys imagining?
Well, actually, I can let me chime in really quickly on that with a comment from Ustream. And by the way, Ustreamers, if you're watching and you have a comment, please put a Q and a colon after it. You can put your suggestion after that for this. But Music One actually wants to know, can you use the new absorb mechanic for Tier 9?
Absolutely. I just not the way the absorb mechanic. I don't want to get too into it, but you could use it for a Tier 9. I'm not sure how well it would work with meltdown, because the crash would come on a timer, and the absorb does not work on a timer. It's an absolute value that once it's formed. Anyway, yeah.
Nobody so far has talked about a gimmick for this, the way we have combo systems for dual blades and things like that. I just keep going back to Positron and the armor and to Positron and his armor, and again the original one, trying to keep control of it. The more you get hit, you more or less build an overload bar, and at a certain point you take so much damage. It would include a click, kind of like domination, where you just hit that point where you can't contain your powers anymore. Boom. And if that would be the gimmick for the set, or do you want to make that somehow incorporated into the Tier 9, or even both. The Tier 9 would do something nice on its own, but if you would build 2 overload, or again something like that, and then it would mitigate the crash, or have some effect that would be, that you'd have a bonus for having it after that time.
So in order to make that work, this would probably have to be a resistance-based set instead of a defense-based set?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Or regen.
Maybe a mix of both. Okay.
Were you thinking of an additional UI element of that overload bar?
Sure!
Why not? I'm crying.
Remember that an additional UI element isn't necessarily a good thing.
No, when I thought of it, I keep going back to domination in the idea that instead of the more powers you throw out, domination comes, the more hits you take, the more of a tanker that you are, that you're doing your job right, you're in the middle of things, and it's just at a certain point, hey, I've got a lot of radiation, I can't keep it contained anymore, so boom.
So you'd probably want to do it not on hits taken, but on like hits directed at you, because even if it's defense, if it's not defense based, like in group content, you know, you're going to get more and more defense buffs on you, and then you would stop building overload, and then you'd be like, oh, stop throwing force fields on me. Like that's yeah. So.
Get another suggestion from Ustream from Cypress Llama. Instead of just a straight up heal, maybe instead of a straight up heal, it would be a small heal over time or plus regen that can be activated for a bigger heal with a cooldown.
That's hot.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Miller, he'll be singing Kesha at karaoke tonight.
Challenge accepted. Along the same lines of what was just mentioned, the heal. The possibility would be to, instead of doing a heal, have it actually create an absorb pool, so that it would be an inverse heal in that manner, so that instead of having a heal that way, now all of your damage would go to the absorb pool. Secondly, I could actually see this also having a toxic damage field, low-level toxic damage, just because you are putting out radiation, would be that way. And in terms of the visual, something that would be points of light that would be there, not sparkly, but something there that shows that there is energy being created within the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I think we should probably cut it at this point and start actually trying to put this together.
So we have a couple of guys who haven't given suggestions, so I'll tell you what, we'll take 2 more suggestions, and then we'll cut it and start putting it together.
Okay,
so please be super fast, guys.
Just 2 things. As a mechanic, maybe a field that gave them a power, so like how with time manipulation they have the temporal debuff, but then that would feed back and increase your own powers as if we're nearing to you. And then as far as absorb, couldn't you have like a set absorb to 0, like Mod used to set your health to a certain value to bring it down to 0 for a crash?
It's kind of mechanically complicated under the hood, so not exactly, but we can do something. I mean, so yeah, maybe we can figure that out.
All right. And final suggestion, and then we're going to start building this puppy.
So for a power, have like a craziness, like it's driving you crazy, the radiation. So be like a confused, but they wouldn't join your side and just sort of do random crazy things, run around. And for an effect, like just have their eyes glow, like they're being affected.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Round of applause for all everybody who gave suggestions. Round of applause to the users for their suggestions as well. We saw tons of suggestions. If we didn't get to yours, we apologize. So now you get to see just a little bit of the design process.
So we're going to do this pretty rough because our time is very limited, so I do apologize for that. So here's what I've taken away from this, and it definitely influenced the design of this. I agree we should use the absorb mechanic in some way. I do want to make you guys aware that the bio armor set does use it quite a bit, and it can't really be reliably used in toggle, so just letting that's kind of out. But I do want to use it in the set in some way, shape, or form. So when I obviously have a toggle status resistance power, there's going to be a debuff or two in this one. This is going to be, sorry, that is blinding me.
I know.
So we'll have a debuff or two in there. We might just have the a debuff aura that also buffs you, and then a mutation self-res / fallout wound, maybe tier 8, and considering making that being able to be used when you are still alive too. Okay, as HP decreases, recovery goes up. I thought that was interesting. It might create a situation where there's a bit of
stop healing me, bro.
Yeah. What we might consider doing, just throwing this out there, is if your So maybe if your hit points are closer to full, maybe this power gives you recovery and a regeneration buff, okay, as a passive power. And if your hit points are near full, you're getting a smaller regeneration bonus, but a bigger recovery bonus. But as your health goes down, maybe you get more regeneration. So it's the powers that are kind of help give you what you need, maybe. And the defeated foe buff, you might be able to do that in here too. I'm worrying this might be a little too click heavy. Let's see. Got that. And a debuff heal, I think that's a great idea. And there's the meltdown with the crash. I think that's pretty cool. And mechanically getting hit and giving you some sort of fuel mechanic. That's something we'll have to kind of go offline and check if we can do it. There's something I experimented with bio armor and it didn't really work all that well, but maybe we can give it a go with new tech we've got. So I'm just going to start putting together powers, and the first power we need to have a damage resistance toggle. So I'm thinking, what do you guys think for a name?
I heard Half-Life over here.
I heard Proton Armor.
I'm going to go with Half-Life.
You like Half-Life? You guys like Half-Life? Yeah? So you can show your support by clapping, guys. It's all good.
That'll be Half-Life 2.
All the names are pretty much placeholder because we're going to get shifted around. So let's not get too hung up on that. Range is 0, recharge is standard 4 seconds. Effect area is faster.
So while you're putting those values in, Phil, what's the next ability?
Self.
Self?
Self? Just
Yeah.
use the drop tool.
I understand. It's not in there. It's self. We get that.
So this is what our day is like.
Every meeting where someone has to do something on the computer in front of everyone else.
In case you were wondering what tools you need to be an expert game designer, Excel. that is pretty much a universal constant there.
So toxic energy, energy and
We already have energy resistant and toxic.
So we're going to have a second resistance toggle. We're going to have probably 3 of them in the set. One will be, okay.
Accelerated metabolism.
What's that?
Accelerated metabolism, having
We already
a
have that.
mechanic for the endo and pin that switches based on where you are.
Right. This is a good place to put it.
That's more like a tier 5-ish.
Yeah, it'll all get shuffled around. I'll put it in here. Let's not worry too much about what level these are going to be. It's just going to be powers in the set. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
I know we've got 14 minutes, so. Let's just call it the regen. Do you have a name for this that isn't accelerated metabolism? What?
Boost metabolism.
I heard someone say gamma something. What was it?
Gamma boost.
Gamma boost. So someone said gamma boost. Gamma boost after fuel rod.
Fuel rod?
Let's go with gamma boost.
Hey, Phil, if we need to go over some, don't worry about it. We still, have that 15-minute.
Phil works on deadlines and he works on them well.
Never
Give
mind.
Phil extra time.
I can attest to that.
2:30 it is then.
Okay, so regen recovery special. Got that covered, okay? And let's do another resistance toggle. This one's going to be, let's say, let's cover the other bases here. So we need
Energy negative.
So you do energy and fire.
Sorry. Energy, fire, cold.
You already got toxic going up there.
We'll probably put that in an auto somewhere. I'm going to put an auto power. We'll have more resistances in there. I was thinking about putting psionic in the status protection toggle.
Make it a click, not a toggle.
We have 3 powers!
So what do you want to call this resistance?
Nuclear protection. How about proton armor?
Proton armor? Let's go proton armor. And hey guys, let's not get hung up on like endurance or anything. All these numbers here, don't need it.
They were all there in case you picked up blaster and melee set.
Then we can have you guys min-max the crap out of this stuff.
Alright, so I think this is going to be the last toggle in the set. When I make an armor set, I'd like to have 3, 4, and beyond that,
Yeah.
Okay, so this is resistance to, let's just call this status. Status. Toxic. Throw a little there.
Chemotherapy.
That won't be funny to everyone.
Yeah. So what do we want to call this one, guys?
Fallout shelter.
That's going to be the placeholder maps. I love it. That's pretty great. Alright, so let's do a heal. Let's not work with the name right now, but it's going to be self plus HP foe minus regen.
Minus damage.
Minus damage. Actually, I was thinking about putting that into the Okay, so yeah, I think you want to have the minus damage all the time. What would be a good, just boom debuff for 30 seconds?
Minus speed.
Minus regen.
Kind of doing that in Bioarmor a little bit. It's a good idea.
Minus regen.
Minus max hit point.
Okay, well, let's just do minus regen for now. We'll probably add something later, minus the hit, minus something. So there's that.
Minus
Radiation therapy.
Radiation therapy, all right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 powers. So let's do the debuff aura.
Neutron burst.
Decay.
Decay rating.
I like that. Let's just
Beta.
Beta. I can't spell.
You all try
said I promise. No more toggles. I promise. Okay, so faux, taunt, and minus damage. Self plus a scaling effect. So, what do you guys think? Recharge.
Energy aura kind of does recharge.
Yeah, energy aura does.
It does make sense here too, because that's within the kin of accelerate metabolism.
Yeah. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, is anything else you guys want to throw at? Recovery. We do have a little bit of recovery in the other.
We had a suggestion for 2 hit over here.
2 hit. Okay.
I like recharge.
Let's do recharge. I mean, because it does go along with the accelerated metabolism. I think that's okay. So we got that. All right. So that's 6. So we have 3 more powers. I'm thinking the absorb barrier, the meltdown, tier 9, and then the self-res nuke thing. Does that sound good? Yeah, I mean,
we could do something like after you use one of the clicks, you have a damage aura for a short time.
Yeah, we could do something like that. I like to do something a little different. Bioarmor has a toxic damage aura in it, so that's why I'm kind of let's do something a little different. I do get it. If we hadn't made that set, I'd probably.
So what about on beta decay? Something that's self-recharge, like the ally recharge. That's
to make it more accelerated. It would be limited, but it would be shared.
So guys, one thing we want to make sure that we're not doing with this is actually getting too much into the minutia of it. That's what beta's for.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're getting a really good overview and a general direction with the abilities, and then Phil goes to town and he starts tweaking the numbers and tweaking the abilities, and that's when we hit the beta, and you're obviously going to be getting another round of feedback during that. So, you know, we're going to walk you through the process again.
So, absorb and max hit points are pretty different because max hit points, they last for a duration. Absorb lasts until you take n amount of damage, right? So, to make sure that you don't die and there's some additional benefit on it, I like throwing in like regen or something in there. So, while you have amount of damage you can absorb, you're still recovering some health, getting back up to a good point to where the shield breaks. You're like, okay, I'm not going to die. So that's, you guys okay with that?
Yeah. All right, cool. So really quickly, actually, Leo, do you actually, as the effects artist up here, can you tell the players, you know, based on some of their suggestions and also your own creative process, what like a rough idea of imagery or visual effect you would have for this type of a defensive set?
Well, I like the idea of the growths that somebody suggested. Stuff like the eye auras or any kind of aura, I think it might be problematic with costume aura pieces that people might want to use instead. So I'd rather stay away from that stuff as more of an actual like build-up geo-related stuff, kind of like we're doing with bioarmor. Would be something more of what I'm thinking.
Okay. And
could you do something like the rubber that's left by a stone tank, so like the ground wouldn't melt underneath where they walk? Because some of the sets need refuse, but if you do like maybe a couple glowing patches afterwards, somebody can walk.
Like a path around?
Yeah, they're very
glowing footprints.
Yeah, glowing footprints.
Glowing footprints.
It's better to have that as a news path or a thing. Yeah, everybody can
So Eric, as the producer who would be in charge of something like this, now that we've got kind of a rough idea, what are the next logical steps for something like this?
Spreadsheets handed over to testers, have them give us feedback, telling us what's broken, what's not broken, why they think it sucks.
You skipped a step. You forgot to get it past the executives.
Oh, that's right, I have to sell it.
Yes. I think the sheer amount of people who wanted that. We had, how many radiation armors and melees did we have?
We had at least 5.
Yeah, we have
That's
5.
pretty significant. If you have one to choose, you guys chose that.
Yeah.
I think that's quantifiable.
Generally, what we do is
marketing
we have a process where Phil usually is going to prototype it in spreadsheets and stuff like that. He'll use placeholder animations and effects for it to start off with. That way we can get it into the testers' hands early so that they can test out the numbers and get a general feel for it. While it's going through that process, generally it's sitting in the hands of Leo, who's going to be going through and creating visual effects for it. Actually, sorry, we'll go to Nelson first. Nelson will create the animations. Leo will build the effects based off the animation times. And then that'll get passed over to our sound guy.
So if anybody wants to act out the animations, just stand in front of the YouTube camera. It'll be recorded. Let us know what you want.
So I think
we're going to go into a pantomime mode here in a few minutes.
So we have three power names I'd like to talk to you guys. If you guys had some really great names.
Tiger counter.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Wait. We have Geiger counter.
Geiger counter. So we have fallout shelter, proton armor. Okay, particle shielding. Let's do it. I like it. We've got plenty of stuff we can say.
We're good. All right. So, are you ready to review with everybody?
Almost.
Almost.
Two more names. So we have the nuke res, not res.
Ground zero.
Ground zero. I'm sorry, I'm totally going to steal this one. This is Meltdown. So, let's review really quick what we've got. So, we've got, this is global. I knew you saw that. So, keep in mind that all these numbers are and names are placeholders. I like a lot of them, so probably I won't get rid of too many of them, because you guys are better at this collectively than I certainly am by myself. So, we have Half-Life, which is a resistance toggle that gives you resistance to lethal, smash, and toxic damage.
Why not inherent or click?
Why not inherent or click? Because for Half-Life, because we need some toggles in the set, and a toggle is going to guarantee that you're going to have a greater value out of it. An auto power is usually
reduced,
like 60. Not even that. Like what?
Somewhere between 40 and 60.
Yeah. So it depends on how broad it is. So you're going to get more bang for your buck out of a toggle every single time. So Gamma Boost is the scaling regeneration recovery power. So basically, when your health goes down, regeneration goes up. When your health is near full, your recovery goes up. So there you go. Next power, Proton Armor. This is the resistance to energy, fire, cold, and negative damage. And then Fallout Shelter, which is the resistance to status effects, psionic damage, and toxic damage. Radiation Therapy, which is the self hit point buff, so you get a hit point drain for each target hit, and affected foes get minus regen and something else. Beta Decay is the taunt aura, with minus damage component of self plus recharge. Someone mentioned possibly that being PB AoE plus recharge. If we did that, we couldn't make it scale. So we'll play around with that. It's an interesting idea. Particle shielding is the absorb shield, and it's probably going to have regeneration or something else nifty on it. And ground zero is the res nuke, not a res nuke. So because you are able to use it when you're still alive, I would reduce the damage but bring the recharge down as well. So it's going to do high damage and a pretty big area effect. And so more usable. And then Meltdown, I was thinking something kind of weird, like every foe who's near you gets a minus to hit debuff for a short time. You get a resistance to all damage buff, a recovery buff, and you get a damage buff.
Cool. If we wanted to see the damage line in there, that would probably be where we do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So Jeff brought up an interesting point. Like while this is active, maybe around you're taking damage.
All right.
Maybe it makes your taunt aura turn on an effect that causes that. There's lots of stuff.
All right, folks. There you have it. The very first. Possibly coming eventually to a Paragon market near you.
What's up, guys? Thank you.
Right on time. So we are actually right on time. It's 2:30, so great job, everybody. We're going to convene back here in 15 minutes for the next panel, which is the costume set workshop. And if you have those cards, go ahead and just hand them to, well, somebody in a blue shirt, and we'll get them over to David and the rest of the guys to look through. So, see you in 15.